Welcome in Lax fans to the Utah Lacrosse Report podcast. My guest today is Austin Braerman, who is the GM and founder of the Salt Lake Storm. We talk about growing up in Maryland, moving to Utah, starting the Storm, and what's on the horizon for box in Utah. We also talked about the Salt Lake Blizzard, which is a girls box lacrosse program, how the Storm is making an impact in the community through the NLL, and the Utah Box Lacrosse Series, which just finished its inaugural season last night with a buzzer beater goal. Hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the show, Austin. How are you?
Good. How are you, Tim?
Good. Thanks for joining me this morning. It's an early one. I wanted to catch you right after the Utah Box Lacrosse Series ended. We'll get to those games. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Coming out of the gate, first question I ask every guest, when did you start playing lacrosse?
Oh, man. I grew up in Maryland, north of Baltimore. It's called Folsom, Maryland, right outside of Bel Air. And I grew up playing, started in whenever I was 5 years old. And, I just loved the physicality, loved the speed of it. And I just got hooked, and it was great. I played for Folsom High School. We won a state championship, Class 2A, my senior year. And then I went on to play at the University of Maryland at the club level, at the NCLL level. And and then just moved around for my job. My job took me to Washington State. I got a lot of coaching experience in the southeast Washington State area, and like Tri-Cities, Richland, Washington area. I coached 2 high school teams over there. And then that's when I actually started to get true box experience playing for the Tacoma Express. Now it's the Everett Express. It's another semi-professional team out there. And then I played for a couple of Vancouver, BC teams as well. But yeah, I've got a lot of lacrosse experience so far.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll talk a ton about lacrosse, but real quick, tell people what you do for work.
Yeah, my background is in chemical engineering. I have my master's in chemical engineering and in construction management. I work for a company called Bechtel. We're a global engineering and construction firm. My role right now, I've taken up a lot of roles with construction management, engineering, business development, quality engineering, big quality guy. But right now I am in continuous improvement. I am the one of the managers for our manufacturing and technology business unit right now.
That's awesome. And if I understand correctly, that's ultimately what led you to Utah was your job.
I traveled to Washington State. I lived there for about 4 or 5 years. During COVID, they moved me to Cape Canaveral, Florida. I was working on the NASA Mobile Launcher 2 project, which is really cool. And then they moved me to Utah, and currently reside in Layton. I was working for the Hill Air Force Base contract right now. And it's been a wild ride so far in Utah.
Yeah, and you get to Utah, you notice that there's maybe a little bit of box being played, but you see sort of this opportunity to create the Salt Lake Storm. Walk us through that process. Walk us through what it's like creating a semi-pro box team, all that good stuff.
It's not easy. I'll tell you that. And it's, if you want to put in a good quality product, anyone can start a men's team just like that, right? But in order to put on a good quality product, good semi-professional team, it's going to take in some effort. It's going to take in some work in the front end. And, I did not really see any box lacrosse opportunities for adults whenever I moved here in 2021. And I moved here in March of 2021. This is when the IBLA, the Interstate Box Lacrosse Association, was still a thing. And in May, I started the team. And so I got a good 25 guys that were committed, ready to go and play lacrosse. Unfortunately, the IBLA folded. That was kind of a wash year for us. But we joined the Box Lacrosse League, the BLL. They service teams from Chicago and west all the way to San Diego. And so was really fortunate to get behind them, and we joined the VLL in 2022 and started competing. It was, it's very difficult to join a team, right? Or start a team. And so, really it's trying to get the word out, trying to make sure that people know that the opportunity exists. And box lacrosse is still growing. From the 5 years that we've been a team, it's truly been night and day, and it's been a really great experience so far.
Yeah, I think I'll be the first to admit that I don't follow box as maybe closely as I should. Had a chance to go to an NLL game a few years ago.
Yeah,
and it was really cool. I really loved it. The environment was awesome. The interesting thing with box is every college coach is going to preach that they want their kids playing box, right?
absolutely.
But then that's kind of where it stops, right? They just say that, but then do kids actually go and do it? There certainly are kids that are obviously out there playing it. But one interesting point that I was talking to a college coach recently about the difference between a kid from Colorado and a kid from Utah. And he said really the only thing that separates them is kids from Colorado have played more box.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting and kind of something for us as Utahns to chew on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, it's awesome to have, box lacrosse here in the state. Basically, there was the Wasatch Box Invitational last weekend that had a bunch of teams from Utah playing in it, which was really cool. Talk about what's it like. So say I join the team tomorrow. What could I expect for maybe the rest of the year?
You can expect some really great team camaraderie, great team culture. And we really try to get everyone engaged, and just playing, right? That's really all it matters. Playing, growing the game, and just getting better, developing as players. That going back to what you're saying about some of the youth guys playing box. There's a saying that box players try to preach. Field lacrosse is not translatable to box, but box lacrosse is very translatable to field. So just by playing box lacrosse, you're going to increase your skill set and your IQ exponentially by just playing and getting those reps and just thinking about the key differences and how you move and how you pass the ball in tight spaces and how you truly think and strategize during the game. And that's what I really like about box, is that it's not so much X's and O's and a lot of running. It's really how you strategize your pick and move your guy off ball. And if your shot or your pick doesn't work the first time, let's try it again. It's all about trial and error. It's all about seeing what works and seeing who's on the field at the same time and seeing those matchups. And that's what really, gets me going. And it's so interesting for me about box. Sorry, I ramble, but for the team, right? Storm has a really great culture, and seeing these guys develop and grow over the not even over the 4 or 5 years, but over a couple practices, right? We're practicing twice a week with team workouts starting up next week as well. And right now we this isn't news to the Instagram world yet, but we are starting a senior B team. We have a team roster size of 55 guys right now. So, that developmental team, that B team, is going to help those either current college kids or guys that don't have a lot of box experience get that experience. And, that's just a great avenue for them to just, continue playing and develop their skills.
That's awesome. And what does a typical schedule look like? You mentioned practices 2 times a week. When are games? When's the season?
Yeah. So we just started practice about a week and a half ago. We're going to go through practices and workouts all the way up until May. And then our practice schedule changes because that's when our season actually starts. Middle to end of May, that's when our season's going to start. We typically have games Saturdays and Sundays, 6 home games, 4 away games, with a total of 10 regular season games. And then we'll travel to 1 in-season tournament and 2 off-season tournaments as well. And then playoffs for the BLL are end of August. So we're guaranteed at least 2 games. Typically, teams play about 2 to 4 games over the weekend.
That's awesome. And so you're traveling through the summer. You got a 10-game slate, playoffs at the end. That's exciting. That's fun. Anything in the fall or winter?
We do host a collegiate tournament through the UBLS, which I'm sure we'll get to in a little bit. We host a collegiate tournament this year. It's going to be end of September. Storm participates in that. We do have the UBLS going on. It's an 8 to 10 week winter men's league, 16 years of age and older. And we also participate in a couple off-season box tournaments as well, where we travel to different locations.
That's fun. That's exciting. So a great way to keep the skills going.
Absolutely.
Year round, which is awesome. Salt Lake Storm also was in the news lately on the NLL's website, even with your work that you're doing in the community.
That is right.
Talk about your just association with the NLL, and then what you guys were up to.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little bit of background on what the NLL is doing in terms of the Unboxed initiative. So there's really 2 things that the Unboxed program is trying to accomplish. It's really the 50% of it is getting sticks in hands, growing the game, these after-school programs. The Storm is going to be that boots on the ground rep for the entire state of Utah for the Unboxed program, which is really exciting. We not only organize it, but we coach, organize, deploy all the resources. We get in touch with all these different organizations, and we coach these kids. And it's so rewarding to see these kids, learn, getting physically fit, getting active, and it's really exciting to see them just develop as individuals. Just because the first time we've ever been having these clinics at the Boys and Girls Club up until now, we started in September, and now we have a clinic coming up in a week. And seeing these kids, every time we walk through the door, they're excited. They're ready to pick up a stick. They're ready to learn. They're asking questions. That's what we want. That we want more youth to not only just play lacrosse, but just get excited about something and be passionate about something. And so that's really what this program is all about. And then the other 50% of it is the actual Utah Spikes name. The NLL Unboxed program established 30 to 36 different market brands across all different types of cities and towns across the U.S. And what we're excited about is the Utah Spikes is going to be the premier all-star team for box lacrosse, depending on which age group we service. But we might have one team, we might have multiple teams, but we will take the best of the best kids, and the NLL will send us out to compete in Canadian box tournaments and U.S. box tournaments as well to, compete.
That's awesome. It's cool to see the NLL, like you said, kind of boots on the ground with these organizations, getting sticks in hands. Definitely something that's super cool. Talking more about, the Utah Spikes, more high school kids playing lacrosse. Salt Lake Storm also has a team called the Salt Lake Blizzard, which is for girls
Yes.
girls high school box. Talk more about that.
Yeah. So it's whenever I got to Utah, I the I am the type of person that wants to create opportunities for not only people, but for the youth as well. Not for adults, but for youth. And I saw a gap in what Utah services in terms of clubs, and I did personally. I did not see a good quality product or even any product out in Utah servicing the girls' side of box lacrosse. So, there are things that are translatable from box to field, but girls, it is completely different because we know girls' field is very different than boys' field. But there are still so many aspects that can be translatable. It's situational awareness, it's field awareness, it's just that, that toughness, that physicality, that grit, that aggressiveness. And, I've gotten a lot of feedback that saying girls cross check, how is that going to translate back into the girls field game? And yeah, because you can't cross check in girls field. And so you can't hit, you can't play with your free hand, you can't shoot through other players. So it is a little different, right? But if you are an athlete, then you can differentiate between the two sports, and you can actually take those that skill set and take that IQ, those skills that you've learned, and translate them into the girls' field. It's no different than me saying I have soccer practice in the morning and then I want to play basketball at night. I'm not going to pick up. I'm not going to pick up the soccer ball with my hand the next day after playing basketball. And so what we really wanted to accomplish with this Blizzard program is getting girls engaged and playing a new style of lacrosse. And it's really cool to see girls actually getting padded up, getting suited up, and start hitting and cross checking. And that, the 10 clinics that we've done so far with a bunch of these different high school programs, we've gotten such positive feedback on box lacrosse. And right now we have open practices starting up. We have one tomorrow, but we're going to try to do some tournaments, one middle of February and one in August. It's just super hard because, we really just are trying to get the word out, trying to get more girls participating, trying to get girls to know what box lacrosse is and, see if they like it.
Yeah, and it's definitely a growing market. I'd say box lacrosse as a whole in the West is definitely
Absolutely.
growing, but
Yeah.
the girl side is even more. I'm part of a couple groups on like Discord and stuff for lacrosse, and it's surprising how many of these girls play box lacrosse, and they all love it.
Yeah.
Super cool to think about and get going, and excited to see what the Salt Lake Blizzard can do there. Let's talk about the Utah Box Lacrosse Series, UBLS.
Sure.
You've got a couple teams playing, and over the last 10 weeks, it came down to a buzzer beater last night in the championship. Talk us through the series and ultimately, the outcome for the Powder Hounds.
Yeah. So I wanted to start the UBLS. A lot of different guys are calling it the U-Bulls League just because it's easier, right? Sure. It's kind of a funny saying, but again, it's kind of the same thing of me starting the Storm and the Blizzard. I personally did not see a good enough high quality product here for a box lacrosse league across Utah. And I wanted to make sure that players are getting the best experience and the best bang for their buck as well, because some of these things cost money. Rental fees cost money. And I wanted to make sure that guys are well taken care of and we're developing these players as well. And I wanted to focus on, the ages from 16 to 22. This UBLS league is 16 years of age and older, so we're able to have high school kids participate as well. And so it's really cool to see some of these high school kids flourish and develop into better players as well. But that's a little bit about the why I started it. We ended up with 4 teams, 85 players across 4 teams. We have the Powderhounds, we have the Jets, the Canyons, and the Hunters. And so I wanted to make these teams very specific to Utah. They have specific ties to Utah. You have the Powderhounds going to our ski culture. The Jets, we have Hill Air Force Base up here. Jets are scrambling right now across the sky around my house. The Hunters, there's a big hunting culture here. The Canyons, look at southern Utah. We have like very beautiful landscapes and canyons, right? And so I wanted to, pay tribute to that aspect for Utah, and have a league that is solely for Utah. We have a great group of guys, 85 guys. We have Storm guys, a lot of different other guys from semi-professional teams, club teams. The Powderhounds, they are primarily a UVU alumni and current UVU alumni team as well. And so there's a very diverse set of guys from all different skill sets and ranges and IQs. And so it's really exciting to see everyone coming together and, really grow this league to the best that it can be. And we are going to return for the fall and winter of 2026. This league, it was a 7-week regular season with 1 week or 1 day of playoffs. Last night was the playoffs. So in the championship, we had the Powderhounds and the Jets, and it did come down to a buzzer beater. It was a great game. It was goals back and forth, and the Powderhounds did win 6-5. And I'll post something here in a second, or at least tomorrow. But I do have the buzzer beater goal on hand, and shout out to Preston Burbage for a really great goal. That was awesome.
Yeah, Preston Burbage, great player. Most famous for the wave.
Yeah.
Many years ago. Not sure if he loves talking about that or not, but great kid. That's exciting. That's awesome to see these guys, local guys, still playing and scoring goals. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Austin, we've talked about a lot of different stuff. What's kind of on the horizon? What's coming next?
There is so much going on. A lot of things in the pipeline. Not only for the UBLS and for the Blizzard, but also for the Storm. And, I can only say this. So we are starting a senior B team in addition to our A team. We're going to develop those players. And with our partnership with the NLL, it is going to exponentially grow not only box lacrosse, but lacrosse in general for the state of Utah. It's, I'm working with a really great rep. He's one of the NLL ops managers right now. I'm also working with a ton of different current NLL guys right now to provide some clinics to not only youth, but adults as well. And it's going to be huge. So I would say, keep us on the radar for the next year and a half, and you'll see why we're a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on the pod today. Where can people find out more about Salt Lake Storm, Blizzard, UBLS?
Yeah, so I'm sure Tim, you'll provide the links of the Instagram and the Facebook, right? But Salt Lake Storm, you can find us on Instagram on Salt Lake Storm. That's just all one word, no spaces. We have a website, saltlakestormlax.com. We also have the Blizzard, so that's Blizzard SLC for our Instagram handle, and then you can find the UBLS at _UBLS.
Awesome. Tons of great content you're putting out on those as well. Enjoyed getting tagged each time the UBLS had a game.
Yeah.
Super fun. And then it was cool seeing the NLL stuff come through as well. So Austin, again, thanks for joining the pod. Excited to see where things go with you and the Storm.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Tim. I appreciate everything that you do for Utah Lacrosse Report. And thank you for having me.